6 Minutes Season 5. The Season of Unknowingness. The final chapter of the 6 Minute sequel.
There are kids in this world who are different. Special.
One of them found us.
And became family.
But her time ran out. And now, that girl is missing.
In this episode, I'll be breaking down the latest episode, 6 Minutes Season 5, piece by piece. Hey, Review Pop listeners, it's your Landon Mueller. We're here today talking about episode 23 of 6 Minutes Season 5, and I have to say I really enjoyed this episode. I just thought there was so many things it did really well, just with, this relationship between Adam and Jude, and how they're slowly starting to get closer to each other, I think. And then we just also have this great chase for Holiday, which I'm super excited to dive into. But other than that, a really interesting time in GZM, a really exciting time. We have Hidden Island Season 2. We're already halfway through the season, and I am loving it so much. I love Hidden Island. I love, the Robinsons. As some of you guys may know, it's based off, the book and the movie, the Robinsons. But yeah, let's dive straight into this one.
Her dream is to work with you someday.
Where is this Holiday?
Holiday? Holiday, sweetheart, please come out. Monica, where did she... Monica?
You let her leave?
Oh, excuse me, I didn't let her do anything. She's a strong-minded girl.
Ah, the girl is in the wind.
I think in Season 4, especially, we saw Dr. Whittier trying to, convince Cyrus to join his side. And now we have him here. He's super, I think, mad, and, we can hear that in his voice. He just seems a lot more antagonistic and mean in general. But then in Season 4, we have this totally different demeanor where he's super calm with Cyrus. He's super convincing, I think. But, it's completely different here. He's leading this charge. He's leading this search for Holiday. And it's super interesting. And I have to say, I love what he says about, the girl being in the wind. And, it sets up this huge epic chase, I think, in a sort of way. It seems kind of different from anything we've seen in 6 Minutes up until this point. And then I also love Monica's mom just defending Holiday and saying she's strong-minded, speaking positively, and trying to, lighten the situation.
Hence Whittier Corp ID.
So he's been hiding out down here. But where is he now?
Oh no, not again.
It sounds like fun, but I'm going to have to miss the prom.
You're leaving again.
Holiday Corp mission. You guys have a great time.
You sure you can't wait? Don't you want to do something really normal?
I especially included it because we have the mention of this Holiday Corp mission. And in Season 3, we heard about, these Holiday Corp missions as something Holiday was doing a lot, right? She was gone from the Andrews family for a super long time on this mission in the Arctic. And that's something I'd love to learn more about, right? I remember, especially at the end of, she felt drawn, to come back to her family. At the end of Season 3. And I think it's super interesting that, there was a block she had for a while, right? She felt a block in her programming that she couldn't come home, and there was something preventing her from coming back. Whether or not that has to do with Jude, we've still yet to learn. I love this idea of Holiday leading a normal life, because that's really something she's never had, right? Even after all these years of, being with the Andrews family, parts of her life are still not normal, right? But I just think it's super interesting, and I'm really excited to see where this goes.
You can hide out as long as you need. My parents are out of town, and even when they're not, they're pretty distracted.
Who is that?
Guys, you down here?
Monica! We're here.
Hey, James. Katie?
Hello, Monica.
James, what's she doing here?
Well, she needed a place to stay while she's figuring out stuff with the carnival. We made a deal.
A deal for her to sleep over at your house?
I first want to start out with this idea of like James having absent parents, and I think it's super interesting because I think it relates to him becoming such a great dad. The fact that his parents don't seem to be around that much, what does that say about him, becoming a father in his future, right? And looking after Holiday and his kids and being such a great dad, even though, sometimes he makes mistakes, right? He's not perfect. And I think it's so interesting what that says about who James is and his personality. I think it's so interesting, and it really is just a, full circle moment for me. And then the other thing is we have, Sam's or young Monica's jealousy, and I think it is so awesome. I love it so much. This idea that Katie's sleeping over at James, and we have kind of a little relationship building here between, Sam or, young Monica and young James. I think it's so awesome, and, I'm really looking forward to seeing where that goes.
Your daughter seems afraid of you.
When you called last night, my daughter Adelaide was reading her book on the couch beside me.
What? But I was certain.
Well, guess everyone made a mistake, huh? I'm not who you thought I was.
I know exactly who you are, Holiday.
Gosh, so like I was talking about these mini cliffhangers, I think it's so exciting whenever we have just a lot of, tension building, and then we get to have this little cliffhanger that, peels over into the next episode, I'm sure. What are we going to learn about, what Dr. Whittier knows about Holiday? I'm super excited. But, this really raises my question. Did he have a backup plan all along to build Holiday, right? Because obviously in season 4, and I brought this up a couple times on the podcast, we heard about how Jude had an interest in building bots from a young age. And so this raises my question. Was he nervous that something was going to happen to Adelaide? And was Holiday a backup project, right? He never thought he would have to build Holiday until he, eventually and consequentially lost his daughter. He decided, okay, I'm going to build Holiday.
Whoa, where are you pulling me to?
We can use the dance tonight as a cover to search for Penn.
Wait, so you're asking me to the dance?
Well, I guess I am.
So, we'll go together? As dates?
Well, dates searching for a kid who makes portals?
Gosh, I love this so much. And, we finally have this relationship building between Cyrus and Brinley, because they've known something was there. All throughout season 5, we've heard these flashbacks from Brinley and, her kind of learning about Cyrus in the process. I think in the last episode, we heard, Brinley in the hallway thinking about, what she's feeling for Cyrus and kind of being unsure about that. So this really sets up an opportunity for them to grow close to one another. And, I love how uncomfortable they are, and just in traditional Siley fashion, the fact that, they are uncomfortable, but at the same time, we also have them growing closer to one another. And I also love this idea of just Penn being in the vents and, being in the school. And what does that say about Penn's relationship with his mom? The fact that he is away from home.
Why does it matter if we're stuck on this island? Just search.
There is a new record on James Anders recorded in the past hour.
Really?
In search of an expert in the field of biosynthetic robotics, specifically if you happen to study under J.P. Whittier, please respond by DM.
Obviously, we learn about the time period that they're in. They're in 2025, November. So it's good to know where we are in the 6 minutes timeline. But overall, I'm super excited. Does Jude have an ulterior motive here? Working on rebuilding Holiday, what does that mean? What does that entail? What will that do to the timeline? And I just think there's so many possibilities here.
Well, isn't that an interesting turn of events?
Monica, honey, we got a hit.
Already? What's it say?
He's claiming to be the world's leading expert on biocybernetics.
Really? What's his name?
His name is Dr. Adam Head.
Gosh, so, I just love the humor in this cliffhanger. Dr. Adam Head, I mean, it's perfect. And, we really get to set up this exciting, next few episodes. We'll see Jude, working with Monica and James, and I am super excited to see where this goes. Thank you all so much for listening. If you enjoyed the show, please leave a 5-star review.
Until next time, this is Landon saying peace, love, and time travel.